Hello, today my name is Carla Andrade. I will be speaking to you about human trafficking. And my first question to you is: are you aware of what human trafficking is? Well, let's look at the definition what human trafficking is. The definition, according to California legislator, it defines human trafficking as all acts involved in the recruitment, in the abduction, the transport, the harboring, and transfer, sale, or receipt of persons with national or across international borders through force, coercion, fraud, deception, or to place a person in an institution of slavery or a slavery like condition, force them into labor or services such as forced prostitution, sexual services, domestic servitude, bonded sweatshops, labor, or other debt bondage. Basically, that sums it up. Anything that you make somebody do for profit or against their will would be classified as human trafficking, right? An example here in the United States of this kind of behavior would be the situation of Ariel Castro forcing three girls into bondage for 10 years. This came to a surprise not only to his community but also to the whole country, as the horrible act was going on in this country, right, in this community. This is not an isolated case. According to the state of California Department of Justice, human trafficking is the largest and fastest growing crime enterprise in the world right now. Human trafficking shares its profit margins not only with arms trafficking but also with drug trafficking, which usually both come hand in hand. In the U.S., the Mexican cartels are one of the biggest contributors to both human, arms, and drug trafficking. But they're not alone. Victims can not only come from the vulnerable people that are to come to the states illegally, but are also within the states. According to the Department of State statistics from 2000, there are approximately 244,000 American children and youth that are at risk for sex trafficking each year. Of these children and youth, 38,600 were originally runaways. So that means that's a very large population of children and youth here in the United States. Kids that are in foster care, kids that are not being cared for by their families or being paid attention to, or kids that run away are high risk for predators to find them in the streets, and for a buck or two or for a meal a day, they will force these children and youth to do things that they don't want to do or would normally be in doing. These findings in the U.S. Department of Justice in 2011 reports 83% of the victims in confirmed sex trafficking incidents were identified as U.S. citizens, while most confirmed labor trafficking victims were identified as undocumented immigrants, 67% would make that up, and or legal immigrants, which would make 28% of this. Human trafficking and smuggling are sometimes confused. There's a difference between the two, though. Human trafficking would be a crime against the human rights in general, meaning it takes away the right for the person to choose what they are able or not able to do for themselves or would do for themselves. Human smuggling is a crime against the country or state. It's kind of just like you stealing something or committing fraud. It's just a crime against the state to smuggle someone into the country illegally. Different types of human trafficking are sex and labor trafficking. Labor trafficking is making someone work for less money or no money at all to pay a debt or hold someone captive against their will for financial gain. Sex trafficking is forcing a man, child, or woman and in their against their will by using coercion or force, forcing them to perform sexual acts or for financial gain. Technology sometimes is a two-edged sword. It can help predators find their prey, but as well is helping us find who are the predators out there. As you can take that into example, How to Catch a Predator on Dateline NBC. They pose as a child or a young woman or a young man online and lure in the criminal on different sites, and then they make up a date to meet somewhere, and once the predator is there, then the law enforcement jumps in and takes them into custody. Another thing that I wanted to put into this video was to make sure that you are able to make the public know that you are able to report these kind of suspicious activities in your community. If you see something that doesn't look right, if you see somebody being that falls into the category of the explanation of what human trafficking is, someone that's being exploited for their money, for their work, or even that you know that they're being sexually trafficked, you should report that. So report any suspicious activity in your neighborhood or in your community. Human trafficking, in conclusion, is not just what we see on TV or movies, but it actually is a real problem. And everyone in this country can help solve the problem by being vigilant and report any and all activities. It's better to report it and be wrong than not report it at all. There are several different numbers you can call for, like hotlines, such as National Human Trafficking Resource Centers. The number to that I'll provide is 1-888-377-7888, or your local police department, of course, will be one of the best resources you can do. I hope this helps you understand what human trafficking is and what a large problem it is in our country and in our communities, and you'll be willing to stop the problem by reporting it. I hope this helps. Thank you.